Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Coffeyville, Kansas, at the baseball field of the Coffeyville Community College Red Ravens. They are hosting the Blue Devils from Kansas City, Kansas Community College today. Starting lineups for today's game for the Blue Devils. Schumacher will lead off in left field. He's number 8. Mooney will play shortstop, bat second. Pittman will bat third in center field. Santiago playing third base today. He'll bat fourth. Still, number 5 hitter plays first base. Combs in right field, the 6 hitter. Remington Kelly is going to DH today, the number 7 hitter. North will be behind the plate. And Bradley, batting number 9, will be on second base. Ortiz Mayer will be on the mound. That's the starting lineup for Kansas City, Kansas Community College Blue Devils. Coffeyville Red Ravens. Collada will lead off in center field. Bunnell will play third base, bat second. Freeman will bat third at second base. The DH will be Ortiz. Number 5 hitter Jorgensen, the shortstop. Boyd will bat sixth in right field. Reed, the first baseman, will bat seventh. Lugo will play in left field and bat eighth. The catcher will be Mitchell. And on the mound today will be Romero. There's the starting lineups for today. Hope that you will be able to pick this up. The internet is very limited, trying to get it out for at least those of you that would like to hear it. It's a little bit of a breezy day, kind of cool, sun shining off and on. But we're getting ready to go. I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and we'll see how things go. They finished marking the field. I don't see any umpires yet, but we will get back with you as soon as we get some umpires, and we'll be ready to go here shortly after 2. All right, we have some umpires out. We'll get the lineups to be exchanged by the coaches, and we'll be ready to get started. Breezy day today. The wind is blowing out. Coach Golbeck, head coach in his, I believe, second or third year as the head coach after Coach Burleson has retired. Coach Golbeck was the infield coach at the time that Coach Burleson was the head coach. He's taken over. The 2 games that we had in KCK on Thursday, the Blue Devils took the first game 3-0, and the Red Ravens took the second game 8-3, I believe. So they're going over the ground rules now. I'm going to go silent for a little bit. When they get ready to start, I'll be back with the call of the game. We'll be right back. All right, here we go. The anthem has been played. The Red Ravens have taken the field. The Blue Devils are picking up their bats to get things started. Remind you once again that the doubleheader that was played on Thursday, the Blue Devils took the first game 3-0. The second game was taken by the Red Ravens 8-3. So today will be the third and fourth game of the four-game set as they look at conference play that all started on Thursday. On the mound, Romero for the Red Ravens. Quentin Romero, Schumacher, Mooney, Pittman, Santiago, Still, and Combs, Kelly, North, and Bradley with Ortiz, Mayer will be on the mound when the Red Ravens come in to bat. Sunshiny day, wind is cool and blowing. The Coffeyville field is all natural grass, infield and out, as opposed to in KCK where the infield is artificial turf and the outfield is natural turf. Romero, a left-hander. He takes a few warm-up pitches. We're about ready to get things started here in Coffeyville, Kansas. About a 3-hour trip down for the team and me as well. Came from a little different area. Coach Goldbeck coaching third base. Tanner Forsler coaching first. Schumacher's going to step in and lead things off. He's number 8, the left fielder. He'll step in on the left-handed side. So we'll start this game with lefty versus lefty. Comes the first pitch to Schumacher. He takes low, ball 1. 1-0 the count on Schumacher as he leads off the game. Game starting just 4 minutes after, so a pretty good job of getting starting on time. Here comes Romero's second pitch. There's a curveball just on the inside corner at the knees for strike 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Romero to Schumacher here early in the start of this game. There's a foul ball over the third base dugout and out of play. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Schumacher. Here comes the 1-2 from Romero. Inside, hit into center field. Coming on hard is Collada, and Collada has that for the first out. That's going to bring up Mooney. Mooney, the shortstop, he'll step in to face Romero with 1 out, nobody on. Comes the first pitch to Mooney. A little bit outside, ball 1. Comes the 1-0. Outside again, ball 2. Mooney squares to bunt, pulls back. 2-0 the count. Comes the 2-0. Outside corner at the knees, strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out to Mooney. Comes the 2-1. There's a ground ball at the shortstop. Jorgensen up with it. Over to Reed for a 6-3 out. That'll bring up Pittman with 2 down. Pittman, the center fielder, he'll step in on the right-handed side. He'll bat with 2 outs and nobody on here in the top of the first, facing Romero for his first time. First pitch right on the outside corner at the knees for strike 1 called. Comes the 0-1 from Romero. Curveball just a little bit up and out for ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here with 2 outs in the top of the first inning. Blue Devils batting. 2 o'clock start today. First game, the 7-inning game. The second one, a 9. That ball is high. 2 balls and 1 strike to Pittman. Comes the 2-1. Strike called at the knees, outside part of the plate. So we got deuces, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs to Pittman. Comes the wind and the pitch. Outside just a little bit. Curveball didn't quite make it back to the zone, so the count goes full. Here comes the 3-2. Swing and a miss for the 3rd out of the inning. So we'll take what will seem like a very long time quiet break to you, but we'll take a break and we'll be back for the bottom half of the first inning. All right, here we go to the bottom half of the first inning. Collada, Bunnell, and Freeman scheduled up for the Red Ravens. Across the outfield will be Schumacher in left, Pittman in center field, and Combs in right. Across the infield, it'll be at third base, Santiago. At shortstop, it will be Mooney. Second base, Bradley Jr. And at first base, still behind the plate, is North. And on the mound is Ortiz Mayer with his start today, tall right-hander. He will face the center fielder, the shortstop, and the second baseman for the Red Ravens here in the bottom half of the first inning. 3 up, 3 down for the Blue Devils in their half of the first. So here we go to Collada will step in. Collada's the center fielder. He will lead it off for the Red Ravens. Sun is back out. Breeze blowing toward left field, blowing out. First pitch to Collada is high for ball 1. Here comes the 1-0. That ball is in the dirt. 2-0. So quickly, 2-0 to Collada is Ortiz Mayer. Here comes the 2-0. Right down the middle, strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike. The leadoff hitter, Collada, Bunnell, and Freeman wait. That ball's outside, 3-1. So 3 balls, 1 strike. Ortiz Mayer risking a walk to lead the game off, which is not a good thing. There is a ball hit into left center. On the run is Pittman and can't get to it, and that is going to be a sliding in triple. The outfield here is very, very large, and Collada with a triple. That's going to bring up Bunnell, the third baseman. He'll step in with nobody out and a runner at third base after that triple by Collada. Collada swinging on a 3-1 count. Drives the ball into the left center field and runs it into a triple. Here comes the first pitch to Bunnell. Strike at the waist inside part of the plate. Called strike one. So 0-1 on Bunnell. Outside. Ball one. 1-1 strike. Collada at third. Led the game off with a triple. Outside. 2-1 strike from Ortiz Mayer. Right-handed pitcher. Right-handed batter in Bunnell. 2-1 the count. Here comes the pitch. That ball's low. Ball three. So 3-1 to Bunnell with the first run of the game possibly standing at third after that triple by Collada. Comes the 3-1 from Ortiz Mayer, and he's on by a base on balls. Misses high. So that's going to put runners at the corner for Freeman, the second baseman. Freeman will step in on the left-hand side with runners at first and third. Collada at third, Bunnell at first. Freeman will step in with still no one out here in the top of the first. All right, Freeman steps in on the left-handed side. Ortiz Mayer in the stretch. Here comes the first pitch. Going to throw back over to first. Nothing doing over there. Bunnell back in safely. It's the first pitch to Freeman. Inside corner. At the knees, strike one. 0-1 the count on Freeman. Comes the stretch in the 0-1 pitch. Over to first base, back in safely is Bunnell. Comes the 0-1. No, we're going to go to first again, back in safely. Still the first baseman. It's the 0-1. There is a ground ball right at the second baseman. Bradley over, going to be safe at first, so an RBI fielder's choice. Going to be the first run for the Red Ravens. They take a 1-0 lead on that fielder's choice. So the designated Ortiz will come up. He bats on the left-handed side. He'll be up there with one out and a runner at first. Freeman runs really well, so the double play was not in order. Run was going to score either way. So a 1-0 lead taken here by the Red Ravens. First pitch to Ortiz is low and inside, ball one. Want to know the count to Ortiz. Throw over to first, back in safely is Freeman. Comes the 1-0. Little bit outside and high, ball two. Comes the 2-0 to Ortiz. That's in the dirt. Blocked nicely by North. Three and 0 the count to Ortiz. Jorgensen in the on-deck circle. Here comes the 3-0. That misses high inside in ball 4, so Ortiz is on with a walk. So one out on the fielder's choice so far. Jorgensen will step in with runners at first and second and one out. One run in for the Red Ravens. Ortiz Mayer on the mound. Gave up a leadoff triple, then a walk, then a fielder's choice to score the run. That ball's high, curveball stayed high, 1-0. And then issued another walk to Ortiz, which brings us to one out, runners at first and second, with one run in for Coffeyville. There's a strike right down the middle. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Coffeyville Red Ravens batting here in their bottom half of the first inning, just getting started. We'll play one 7-inning game, then a 9-inning game. There's a throw back to second base, back in safely is Freeman. The first 7-inning games, if it goes extra innings, it becomes the 9-inning game. The first game of the 4-game set is the tiebreaker if they split 2-2 and a tiebreaker is needed. So that tiebreaker stays with the Blue Devils right now. That ball is low and outside, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike to Jorgensen. Comes the pitch. There's a ball into shallow center field. Is going to fall. Runner at second is going to score. So a 2-0 lead taken on that base hit by Jorgensen. So 2 runs in. Jorgensen with an RBI. Freeman with an RBI. That'll bring up Boyd, the right fielder. Boyd will step in with runners at first and second. Ortiz at second. Jorgensen at first. 1 out. 2 runs in so far for the Red Ravens. Curveball stays up high, ball 1. There's a ground ball at the shortstop. Mooney up with it over to Bradley Jr. at second. So there'll be a fielder's choice out at second base. That's going to leave runners at the corners with 2 out for Reed. So Reed, the first baseman, will step in. 2 runs in so far for the Red Ravens. He'll step in versus Ortiz Mayer with runners at the corners and 2 outs. Curveball outside, ball 1. Comes the 1-0. High and inside, ball 2. 2-0 the count on Reed. Ortiz at third. Misses low, 3-0. Misses ball 4 on that one, so that's going to load the bases. It's going to bring up Lugo. Lugo's the left fielder. He'll step in with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Ortiz Mayer has given up 2 so far. Hopefully he can get out of it here to get the Blue Devils in to bat with only 2 runs in. Here comes the first pitch to Lugo. It's low and outside. Ball 1. Coach Goldbeck's going to go have a visit to the mound. I'll turn off the sound. We'll be back as soon as the visit is over. So the words of wisdom imparted by Coach Goldbeck to his young pitcher Ortiz Mayer are over with. Bases are still loaded. 2 outs with Lugo at the plate. First pitch to him is strike right down the middle at the knees. The number 8 hitter batting here in the first. One ball, 1 strike, the count. 2 outs, bases loaded. Full of Red Ravens. Here comes the 1-1 pitch from Ortiz Mayer. Strike. Looked a little bit outside and low to me, but I'm not making the choices here. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs to Lugo, the left fielder. He's trying to plate some more runs for the Red Ravens. Ortiz Mayer trying to shut her down. Here comes the 1-2. There's a swing and a miss. So at the end of 1 full inning of play, the Red Ravens have taken a 2-0 lead. We'll take a warm-up, and we'll be back. All right, here we go to the top half of the second. Santiago, Still, and Combs scheduled up for the Blue Devils. The Red Ravens plate 2 in their bottom half of the first to take a 2-0 lead through 1. Santiago playing third base today, played second base this past Thursday and most of the preseason. He'll step in leading off the top of the second inning for the Blue Devils facing Romero. Low and in the dirt, ball 1. There's Santiago hitting to left field, going to be a stand-up double. So a leadoff double by Santiago. That's going to bring up Steele. Still the first baseman. He'll step in with nobody out, and he will face Romero with nobody out and Santiago at second. Lefty on the mound in Romero. Still batting right-handed. That ball in the dirt, blocked nicely by the catcher, Mitchell. Comes the 1-0. Strike right at the knees, outside part of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike to Still. Comes the stretch in the 1-1. In the dirt, blocked nicely again by Mitchell. Two balls, 1 strike to Still. Swing and a miss. A little bit off speed on the outside part of the plate. Swing and a miss by Still. So 2-2 the count. Nobody out, runner at second. Romero in his second inning of work. Red Ravens took a 2-0 lead in the first. Blue Devils batting here with 1 on and nobody out here in the top of the second. There's a swing and a miss for a strikeout to Still. That's going to bring up Combs. Combs, the right fielder. He'll step in on the left-handed side to face the left-handed throwing Romero. 1 out now with a runner at second. Santiago with a leadoff double. Strikeout by Still. Comes the stretch and the first pitch to Combs. Foul ball. Oh, and 1 the count to Combs. Lefty versus lefty. Runner at second. 1 out. Curveball starts out coming at the hitter and right back across the plate for cold strike 2. So quickly 0-2 the count to Combs. The 0-2. Another curveball across there for a strikeout. Swinging and miss is Combs. That's going to bring up Kelly. Kelly, the designated hitter today, Remington Kelly. He'll step in on the right-handed side facing the lefty Romero. Romero gives up a double and then 2 back-to-back strikeouts. So 2 outs now as Kelly steps in. Runner at second. Blue Devils down 2 as they bat here in the bottom of the second. Turns back to second, nothing going on back there. Santiago back easily. Comes the first pitch to Kelly. The ball hit into left field. Sizing that up is Lugo. He puts it away for the third out of the inning. So at the end of 1.5, the Red Ravens lead the Blue Devils 2-0. We'll be back. All right, warm-up tosses have been made by Ortega Mayer. He's back for his second inning of work. Bottom of the second. Mitchell, then back to the top of the order, Collada and Bunnell. Hit by pitch on Mitchell. So back to the top of the orders, Collada. Collada led off the game with a triple to left center. He'll step in with nobody out and a runner at first after the hit by pitch to Mitchell. There's a hit into left field by Collada. That is going to score Mitchell. So a stand-up double into the left field corner by Collada for the third run of the game for the Red Ravens. That's going to bring up Bunnell. He reached on a base on balls his first time up. He'll step in with a runner at second base. After that double, the RBI double by Collada. 3-0 lead now by the Red Ravens. Bunnell steps in. There's a throw back to second base. Back in safely is Collada. There's a ground ball at Santiago. He's up with it and over to first base to Still. Runner stays at second. So the first out of the inning out on a 5-3. That's going to bring up Freeman. Freeman got an RBI on a fielder's choice ground ball to the second baseman his first time up. He'll be in there on the left-handed side. One out, runner at second in Collada. Strike called right at the top part of the zone. Maybe looked a little above that top part of the zone as far as I'm concerned. Strike called nonetheless, 0-1. There's a foul ball just back to the screen. So quickly 0-2. Ortiz Mayer up on Freeman. We are quite a long ways down into the southern part of the state area, and I've been noticing and feeling like this year the strike zone has been raised a little bit. That misses just a little bit outside. Ball one. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Freeman. Comes the 1-2. Curveball doesn't make it back to the zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Freeman batting with his Red Ravens with a 3-0 lead as they bat here with 1 out in the bottom of the second. They put up 2 in the first, 1 so far here in the second. Ortiz-Mayer turns back to say second. Nothing going on back there. Back in safely is Collada. Collada with an RBI double. Runner goes. There's a ground ball just down to the first baseman. He's going to step on first for the out, so Still takes that unassisted, and that moves Collada over to third base. So 2 outs for Ortiz. Ortiz reached on a base on balls. He'll be in there on the left-handed side with 2 outs and a runner at third. Comes the first pitch from Ortiz-Mayer, and there's a swing and a miss on that fastball. Here comes the 0-1. Swing and a miss inside part of the plate. So 0-2 quickly is Ortiz-Mayer. Comes the 0-2. Outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Ortiz. Comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss in the dirt. Have to throw it down for the out, and they do. So North down to Still for the third out. So at the end of 2 full innings, 3-0, the Red Ravens lead the Blue Devils of Kansas City, Kansas Community College. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Defensively for the Red Ravens, left field's Lugo, Collada in center field, and in right is Boyd. Across the infield, Bunnell at third, Jorgensen at shortstop, Freeman at second, and Reed at first base. On the mound, Romero. He's back for his 3rd inning of work, and behind the plate is Mitchell. North, Bradley Jr., and then back to the top of the order in Schumacher. Only 1 has reached base so far on Romero. Was a double by Santiago. Catcher North is up. First pitch to him. He hits a line drive. Foul down the left field line. So quickly 0-1 on North. Ground ball right back to the pitcher. Romero going to run it partway over, underhand it to his first baseman, Reed. So Romero to Reed for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, the second baseman, Bradley Jr. Bradley Jr. will step in. He's really crowding the plate. He'll step in with 1 out, nobody on. First pitch is in the dirt to him, ball 1. Comes the 1-0 to Bradley Jr. Strike, ball cutting right across the inside part of the plate at the knees for strike 1 called. Lots of ones, 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out to Bradley Jr. There's a fly ball into shallow right field. Chasing Kyle is the second baseman, Freeman, and gives way to the right fielder, Boyd, and Boyd puts that away for the second out of the inning. Back to the top of the order, that'll bring up Schumacher. He flew out to center field his first time up. Schumacher steps in here in the top of the third, 2 outs and nobody on. Lefty versus lefty. There's a strike right across the middle of the plate at the knees, called strike 1. Here comes the 0-1. Another strike right at the knees, outside part of the plate. So quickly 0-2, Romero up on Schumacher. Schumacher steps back in, lefty at the plate, lefty on the mound. Comes the 0-2. A little bit outside and low, ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Schumacher. Schumacher bats here with 2 outs in the top of the third. Blue Devils trail 3-0 to the Red Ravens of Coffeyville Community College. Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss. So a strikeout to end the inning at the end of 2.5. The Red Ravens lead 3-0 over the Blue Devils of Kansas City, Kansas Community College. We'll take a break. We'll be back. All right, Ortiz Mayer back for his third inning of work. Here in the bottom of the third, the Red Ravens will bat with a 3-0 lead. Jorgensen, Boyd, and Reed scheduled up for the Red Ravens. Little visit down here, enjoyable for me. My oldest son, Tony, played down here in, I believe, the 05-06 season. Coach McCune was the head coach at that time. Here comes the first pitch from Ortiz Mayer, and that is air mailed clear back to the screen for ball 1. Jorgensen, Boyd, and Reed. There's a curveball, stays high at 2-0. Comes the 2-0-2. Jorgensen misses outside. 3-0 the count. as Jorgensen leads off the bottom half of the third inning for the Red Ravens. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. Strike. Outside part of the plate at the knees. 3 balls, 1 strike. There's a pop-up on the infield. First baseman coming in, taking charge. Comes the 1-0, high and inside. Ball 2, 2-0 to Boyd. There's one in the dirt all the way back to the screen. 3 balls and no strikes to Boyd. Just misses inside. So a 1-out walk issued to Boyd by Ortiz Mayer. It's going to bring up Reed. He reached on a base on balls his first time up. He'll be up there with 1 out and 1 on here in the bottom of the third. Low ball 1. Want to know the count to Reed. Reed, the first baseman. Pitch is high. Ball 2, 2-0. North is going to go out and visit. Add him out to visit with Orlando Ortiz Mayer. Trying to settle him down and get him back in the zone. The strike zone, that is. 2-0 the count to Reed. 1 out, runner at first in Boyd. There's a strike right at the knees on the outside corner. 2 balls, 1 strike to Reed. 1 out, 1 on. Base on balls by Boyd. He's at first. That's a little bit outside and low. So 3 balls, 1 strike. Coach threw some signs down at third, see what they've got going on, if anything. Comes the 3-1. Outside ball 4. That's going to bring up Lugo. So Reed's been on twice, both times base on balls. Lugo struck out swinging his last time up. He's going to be up there with 1 out, runners at first and second. As the Red Ravens bat here in the bottom of the third with a 3-0 lead over the Blue Devils. Comes the first pitch to Lugo way outside. Ball 1, 1-0. Comes the 1-0 in the dirt, nicely blocked, kept out front by North. So 2-0 the count with 1 out and runners at first and second. There's a strike right at the waist outside corner. Getting pretty close to the upper edge of that strike zone. But nonetheless, 2-1 the count. Comes the pitch. There's a ball lifted into right field. Coming on for that is Combs. He makes the catch. No tag, so out on a fly to right field is Lugo for his second at bat. That's going to bring up Mitchell. Mitchell was hit by a pitch his last time up. He'll be up there with 2 outs and 2 on. Boyd at second, Reed at first. 2 outs with Mitchell at the plate. 3 runs scored so far in the game, all 3 of them by the Red Ravens. They lead 3-0 here in the bottom of the third. Ortiz Mayer still on the mound. There's a strike inside part of the plate at the knees. Strike called. Comes the 1-0 from Mayer. Curveball way outside. Runners are going to move up 90 feet on that wild pitch. So runners now at second and third. 2-0 the count to Mitchell. Mitchell, the catcher for the Red Ravens. Here comes the 2-0 by Ortiz Mayer. In the dirt and back to the screen. That's going to allow a run to score. So a wild pitch to score a run will make the count 4-0 with a runner at third. 3-0 the count. Mitchell at the plate. Strike called. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs with a runner at third. Ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. So a full count here to Mitchell. 4 runs in for the Red Ravens. There's a pitch and swing and a miss. So at the end of 3 full innings of play, the Red Ravens lead the Blue Devils 4-0. We'll be back for the top of the 4th. All right, here we go to the top half of the 4th inning. Romero back for his 4th inning of work. He's scheduled to face Mooney, Pittman, and Santiago. Mooney grounded out to the shortstop his first time up. He'll step in to lead off the top of the 4th for the Blue Devils. Comes the first pitch from Romero. Ground ball over toward the dugout on the third base side of the Red Ravens. 0-1 the count. Mooney leading off the top of the 4th. First game is a 7. The second game is a 9. There's a ground ball down the third base line, but foul. Oh, 0-2 the count quickly. Romero to Mooney. The fly ball lifted into right center on the run. Can't quite get to it is Collada. It's going to be a double for Mooney. That's going to bring up Pittman. Pittman struck out his first time up. He'll be up there with nobody out and a runner on second base in Mooney after that leadoff double. Only the second hit managed here by the Blue Devils in the fourth. They trail 4-0 as they bat in their top half of the fourth. Time asked for by Pittman and granted. Mitchell's going to go out and have a visit with Romero at the mound, check on their signals with their signs with a runner on second. Be sure they're on the same page. Visit over. Pittman steps back in. Romero back on the mound. Romero the lefty. Pittman bats on the right-handed side. Squares to bunt. Bunts off the foot and out of bounds for foul. Not sure if Coach Goldbeck called for that bunt or if it is Pittman's way of trying to get something going. Tyler may have been butting for a hit there, not sure. Here comes the 0-1. Turns back to second, nothing going on back there. Back in safely is Mooney. The 0-1 pitch from Romero. Squares to bunt, misses. So 0-2 to Pittman. Mooney with a double to right center. Comes the 0-2. There's a swing and a miss for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up Santiago. Santiago had a double to left field his first time up. He'll step in with one out and one on. Mooney at second base. Romero has been pretty efficient here. 4-0 lead for the Red Ravens. Turn back to second, nothing doing. Comes the first pitch to Santiago. He swings through that for strike one. Oh, and 1 the count, 1 out. Runner at second base. Blue Devils trail 4-0 to the Red Ravens. Coffeyville, down here in Coffeyville, Kansas. Here comes the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Outside part of the plate. 0-2 the count to Santiago. Comes the stretch and the 0-2 by Romero. In the dirt, gets past the catcher, so the runner will move up to third. It's a wild pitch in the dirt to let him move to third. So Mooney at third. Santiago at the plate with 1 out. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Comes the pitch. Swing, foul ball held by the catcher for a strikeout. So that's going to bring up Still. Still struck out his first time up. He'll be up there with 2 outs and a runner at third, trying to get that first run in for the Blue Devils. They trail here 4-0 as they bat in the top of the fourth. Strike called. 0-1, 2 outs, runner at third. Romero has been in command so far through 3 2/3. There's a swing and a miss. 0-2 the count. Here comes the 0-2 by Romero. Inside. Ball 1, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Just about hit him. Not sure how that got through without getting him in the legs, but it did. There is a hit into right field, so an RBI by Still gets the Blue Devils on the board. So 4-1 as they bat with 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. It's going to bring up Combs, lefty versus lefty. He'll be up there. He struck out his first time up. He'll be up there with 2 outs and a runner at first base. Strike right across the inside corner at the knees. Strike called. Oh and 1 the count, 2 outs, 1 run in here in the top of the fourth. 4-1 lead by the Red Ravens. Comes the pitch from Romero. Blocked nicely. That ball in the dirt blocked nicely by Mitchell. Runner has to stay at first. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, 1 on. Blue Devils trail 4-1. Top of the fourth action. 7-inning game, first of a doubleheader. Comes the 1-1 from Romero. Little bit low. 2 balls, 1 strike to Combs. Comes the 2-1. Little bit high, ball 3. Three balls, 1 strike to Combs. Combs trying to keep it going here in the top of the fourth. Comes the pitch. The fly ball lifted into shallow left field. Everybody chasing. Coming in and making the play is the left fielder Lugo. Makes a nice running catch over by the foul line. So at the end of 3.5, the Red Ravens lead the Blue Devils 4-1. We'll take a break. We'll be back. All right, here we go to the bottom half of the fourth inning. Red Ravens taking their shot in the fourth. They lead 4-1. Collada, Bunnell, and Freeman scheduled up. Ortiz Mayer back to the mound for another inning of work. Curveball misses high and inside, ball one. 1-0 to Collada. He's had a triple and a double. He swings through that ball for strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's 2 for 2. Curveball right in the same spot as the first one, and it still misses. 2-1. Squares to bunt. It's going to be foul. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Collada will have to come back to do it again, trying to get that bunt Siegel working his way for the cycle here since he's already got a double and a triple. RBI double, led off the game with a triple. RBI double, his second at bat. So 2-2, he's back to the plate. Excellent speed by the young man. Comes the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss for a strikeout. That's going to bring up Bunnell. Bunnell's walked and grounded out to third base. He'll be up there with 1 out and nobody on as he bats in the bottom half of the Red Raven fourth. Clear back to the screen with that one is ball one. Comes the 1-0 pitch. There's a drive down the left field line. Looks like extra bases for Bunnell. He's going to be in standing up to second base. So a 1-out double for Bunnell into the left field corner. That's going to bring up Freeman. Freeman reached on a fielder's choice his first time up, second time grounded out unassisted to the first baseman. He'd like to get a hit here, but he'd also take that unassisted ground out to first base to move the runner to third. He misses. Ortiz Mayer misses outside with that first pitch. 1-0 the count to Freeman. Freeman in on the left-handed side. Bunnell at second base. 1 out here in the inning. Comes the 1-0 pitch, blocked nicely by North. 2-0 the count to Freeman. Freeman on the left-handed side. Strike called. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out, runner at second. As the Red Ravens bat here in their bottom half of the fourth inning, the home half. Comes the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. To the second baseman, Freeman. Outside ball 3. So full count we go. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. To Freeman. Ortiz Mayer still on the mound. The starter for the Blue Devils in this first game. Here's the pitch. Strike called. Sure looked low and inside to me, but nonetheless a strikeout called. So the second out of the inning. That's going to bring up Ortiz. Ortiz has reached on a base on balls and struck out swinging. He'll step in with 2 outs and a runner at second base in Bunnell. Ortiz, the designated hitter, left-handed hitter, crowds the plate. A little bit low, ball 1, 1-0. Misses, ball 2. 2-0 the count. Comes the 2-0. Swing and a miss on that fastball outside corner at the knees. 2 balls, 1 strike. Ortiz played first base in the games on Thursday, DHing today. There's a swing and a miss. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. 2 Ortiz at the plate. Facing Ortiz Mayer, the right-handed pitcher for the Blue Devils. Here comes the 2-2. Swing and a miss. So we'll go to the top of the 5th. The Blue Devils trail Coffeyville Red Ravens 4-1. We'll take a break. We'll be back. All right, here we go to the top of the 5th inning. Blue Devils trail the Red Ravens 4-1. Getting low on chances here. Kelly is going to lead off. Kelly North and Bradley Jr. scheduled up for the Blue Devils. Kelly flew out to left field his first time up. Romero back for his 5th inning of work. First pitch inside and low, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Kelly. Here to lead off the 5th. Strike called at the knees. Outside part of the plate, 1-1 the count. Romero to Kelly. Comes the 1-1. A little bit high, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Comes the 2-1 from Romero. Little bit outside, ball 3. 3-1 the count. Kelly trying to get something going here for the Blue Devils as he leads off the top half of the 5th inning. There is a ball deep into the left field corner. It's going to be a stand-up double for Kelly. That's going to bring up North. north. Going to give way to a pinch hitter. Brandon Green. Green has been playing third base. Coach has been able to do this with his catchers. He has two catchers, one that catches the first game, one the second game, but late in the game he can pinch hit. So Green into pinch hit for North. Then Goodfellow will come in to catch. So runner at second, nobody out. Green steps in, the pinch hitter, to face Romero. There's a ground ball at the shortstop. He's up with it and over to first base. So Jorgensen over to Reed for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Bradley Jr. He flew out to right field his first time up. He'll be up there with one out and a runner at second baseman. At second base. Kelly with a lead-off double here in the top of the fifth. Romero on the mound, a left-hander. Right-handed batting Bradley Jr. Time is called. Granted, no pitch, no strike, no ball, no anything. Comes the first pitch to Bradley Jr. from Romero. Bunt down the third base line. That's going to be a base hit bunt. So with one out, there'll be runners at the corners for Schumacher. So runners at the corners. Kelly at third, Bradley Jr. at first, Schumacher at the plate. Schumacher 0 for 2 on the day, flew out to center field and struck out swinging. Lefty versus lefty. Strike called right at the knees, down the middle. Blue Devils threatening here. Runners at the corners, one out. Back to the top of the order with Schumacher. Throw over to first base, back in safely is Bradley Jr. Comes the 0-1 from Romero. Check, swing, strike. Curveball across there about the height of the knees anyway. Going to be a strike either way. 0-2, the count to Schumacher. Outside ball one. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, 2 runs, 2 runners on at the corners. Blue Devils trail the Red Ravens 4-1 with the Blue Devils batting here in the top of the fifth. First game of this afternoon started at 2, a 7-inning game. That curveball just about hits him, just about makes it back to the strike zone, but called a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two and two the count, 1 out. Here's the stretch and the pitch by Romero. Outside and in the dirt. Bradley Jr. going to move up to second base on that ball in the dirt. So runners at second and third for Schumacher. The count 3-2. Comes the stretch and the 3-2 pitch from Romero. Steps off, not quite comfortable things. This is the most action he's had against him in any inning. Of this one. Blue Devils trail 4-1 to Coffeyville. Here comes the 3-2. Outside ball 4, so that's going to load the bases for Mooney. Mooney grounded out to the third baseman. Had a double. Coach is going to go out for a visit at the mound. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. All right, the visit is over. Back to the mound is Romero. Kelly on third. Bradley Jr. on second. Schumacher on first. Mooney at the plate. 1 out. Blue Devils trail by 3. Comes the first pitch to him. He swings through that for strike 1. And 1 the count to Mooney. Comes the pitch. Inside, looked like it got a piece of his shirt, but nonetheless called a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Bases full of Blue Devils. Mooney trying to make something big happen right here. Here comes the pitch. Outside ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike to Brigham Mooney. He's batting here in the top of the 5th. Bases loaded, 1 out, 2-1 the count. Left-handed pitching Romero on the mound for the Red Devils. Here comes the 2-1. Outside ball 3. So 3 balls, 1 strike to Mooney. Comes the stretch and the 3-1 pitch. Going to get a timeout called by Mooney. He's going to step back in. Bases loaded. 3-1 the count. 1 out. Blue Devils trail the Red Ravens by 3. There's ball 4. So ball 4 is going to yield the second run of the game. So a 4-2 lead. We're going to have a pitching change. 4-2 the lead with the pitching change coming here with 1 out in the top of the 5th. We'll take a break. We'll be back. All right, so the pitching change has been made. Trevor Lundquist, tall right-hander, coming in for the Red Ravens. Pittman will step in. He struck out twice against Romero, the left-hander, so he's probably happy to see the right-hander come in. Get a little look at something different. Still one out, 4-2. Lead by the Red Ravens. That ball is inside and gets him. So that's going to make a 4-3 count. One pitch hit by batsman. That's going to bring up Santiago. So Santiago's had a double and a strikeout. He'll step in. 4-3 game now to a walk and a hit batsman with the bases loaded. 2 runs in for the Blue Devils. Santiago will face Lundquist. Here comes the first pitch to him. That ball's high for ball 1. So 4-3 now the score here in the top of the 5th. Bases still loaded, 1 out. Lundquist on in relief of Romero. Romero goes 4 1/3. Here comes the pitch. Curveball right on the inside corner for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Bases loaded for the Blue Devils. Here comes the 1-1. There's a ball into center field. That's going to be in front of the center fielder. 2 runs will score on that base hit by Santiago. So Santiago puts the Blue Devils in the lead with that 2 RBI base hit to center field. It's going to bring up Still. He struck out and had an RBI base hit his first time up. Actually, his first 2 times up. He'll be up there with still just 1 out. Still 1 out. Ha-ha, pun. Runners at first and second. He pops up on the infield. That's going to be an infield fly. The batter's going to be out. So 2 outs now with runners at first and second. That's going to bring up Combs. Combs will step in on the left-handed side. He struck out and flew out to left field. He'll be up there with 2 outs and runners on first and second. 5-4 lead by the Blue Devils now. This takes ball 1 high. A walk with the bases loaded scored 1. A hit batsman with the bases loaded scored another 1. And then bases loaded base hit by Santiago. Here comes the 1-0 pitch by Lundquist. A little bit low and outside, ball 2. Two and 0 the count to Combs. 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Lundquist on in relief. That ball misses up and or out. 3 and 0 the count. Comes the stretch and the pitch from Lundquist. Outside ball 4. That's going to load the bases up for Kelly. Kelly flew out to left field and had a double his second time up. So he's 1 for 2 on the day. He'll step in with 2 outs and the bases loaded to face Lundquist. Four runs in the inning. The help of a hit batsman and a base on balls for 2 of them, and then a base hit for the other 2. Curveball misses outside. Ball 1, 1-0 to Kelly. Comes the 1-0. Strike. Inside corner at the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Bases loaded. 5-4 lead for the Blue Devils as they bat here in the top of the 5th. Inside, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike to Kelly. It has that look. Lundquist has struggled with the strike zone just like Ortiz Mayer has on the mound for the Blue Devils. See how he comes back out after taking the lead. If he's able to settle down and relax, here comes the pitch. Curveball sails outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. So 3-1 to Kelly. Bases loaded. Lundquist risking walking in another run. In this inning, a hit by hit batsman, a walk for 2 of them, and then there's ball 4 for another run on a base on balls. That's going to bring up Green. Green pitch hit for North earlier in this inning. He grounded out to the shortstop. He's going to be up there with 2 outs and the bases loaded. He takes strike. Fastball outside part of the plate at the knees, called strike 1. So 0-1 the count. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Lundquist. Curveball drilled down the third base side just between the bag and Coach Goldbeck. So quickly 0-2 the count on Green. Here comes the 0-2 from Lundquist. That ball is in the dirt. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 5 runs in the inning. 2 on base on balls with the bases loaded. 1 a hit batsman with the bases loaded, and 1 a double by Santiago to score 2. Here comes the 1-2. There's a ground ball at the shortstop. He's up with it over to the second baseman. So Jorgensen over to Freeman for the final out of the inning at the end of 4 1/2. The Blue Devils have taken a 6-4 lead with plating 5 in that inning. We'll take a break and we'll be back. All right, here we go to the bottom half of the fifth inning. Blue Devils taking a 6-4 lead. In the top of the fifth, they plated 5. That's going to bring up Jorgensen, Boyd, and Reed. Jorgensen had an RBI base hit his first time up. Swings through that curveball for strike one. And then popped out to the first baseman. That ball is down for ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jorgensen as he leads off the bottom half of the fifth for the Red Ravens. Now that high strike is back as being a ball, which is where it should be. 1 ball, 1 strike. There is a strike at the knees outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Outside for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Jorgensen. There's a ground ball at the third baseman. Santiago's up with it. Over to Still for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up Boyd. Boyd's the right fielder. He grounded out. Reached on a fielder's choice to the third baseman and walked so far. He'll be up there with 1 out. There's a strike, fastball right down the middle, strike called. Here comes the 0-1. Ground ball at Santiago. That's going to be an error on Santiago. See how they score it. That was a line shot at him. That's going to bring up Reed. He'll be up there with 1 out and 1 on. There is a foul ball down the left field line. A long foul ball. 0-1 the count. Comes the pitch. Strike on the outside corner. So 0-2 quickly to Reed. Reed has reached twice on a base on balls. That ball's outside for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. As the Red Ravens trail by 2 and bat here in their bottom half of the fifth inning. Here comes the 1-2 in the dirt, blocked nicely by Goodfellow. Goodfellow on Green with the pinch hit, and then Goodfellow behind the plate. There's a ball. Runner's going to move up on a wild pitch by Ortiz Mayer. Goodfellow could not block that one in front of himself, and it went over toward the first base dugout to let the runner move to second. So Boyd down to second. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out to Reed. Got a runner in scoring position in Boyd. Boyd reached on the error by Santiago at third. There is a line drive at the second baseman for the out, and back in safely is Boyd. Hit hard by Reed, but makes out. So a line drive for the second out of the inning. Lugo's going to step in. He struck out and flew out to right field. He'll step in with 2 outs and a runner at second. Blue Devils taking a 6-4 lead. The Red Ravens now batting. There's a swing and a miss on a curveball for strike one. Red Ravens batting here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. Ball is in the dirt, blocked nicely by Goodfellow. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Lugo at the plate. Ortiz Mayer back for his 5th inning of work. He has a 6-4 lead with his Blue Devils. That ball is down and in the dirt. 2 balls, 1 strike to Lugo. Two-out walk, so there'll be runners at second and third. That's going to bring up Mitchell. So Mitchell's going to step in and face Ortiz Mayer. Mitchell has been hit by a pitch and struck out swinging. He steps in with 2 outs and 2 on. With the Red Ravens trailing by 2, there's a strike outside corner of the plate at the knee, strike called. 0-1 the count. Swing and a miss. So 0-2. 0-2 the count to Mitchell. Mitchell asking for those signs again from Coach down at third. Gets them. 0-2 the count on Mitchell. Here comes the Ortiz Mayer pitch. Runner is going to move down to second. Ball at Goodfellow's feet. Couldn't find it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs. Runners at second and third. Mitchell down in the count, 1-2. Here comes the pitch. Curveball swings through it. So at the end of 5 full innings, the Blue Devils have taken the lead here in the 5th. So we'll go to the top of the 6th. 6-4, Blue Devils lead. We'll be back. All right, here we go to the top of the 6th inning. During the 5th, Blue Devils take a 6-4 lead. Bradley Jr., Schumacher, and Mooney scheduled up here in the top of the 6th. They'll face Lundquist. He's been 2/3 of an inning so far. Comes the first pitch outside, low, ball 1 to Bradley Jr. 1-0 the count as he leads off here in the top of the sixth. That ball's high for ball two. 2 balls and no strikes. Two and 0 the count. Sun has gone behind cloud, or maybe more appropriately, a cloud is covering the sun, making it cool. Strike called at the knees down the middle. 2 balls, 1 strike. 6-4 lead here as the Blue Devils bat in the top of the sixth. Here is hit by pitch is Bradley Jr. So back to the top of the order we go. Schumacher is 0 for 2. He flew out to center field his first time up. Then he struck out. Then a base on balls. Going to have a visit to the mound. We'll take a break. We'll be back. All right, number 27 is on in relief for the Red Ravens. John Loreno Tavares. To make it easier, they call him John, but I'll go with Loreno Tavares because I consider that my job. So a lefty on the mound in relief. Romero, then Lundquist, now Loreno Alvarez. Josh Schumacher steps in. Nobody out, runner at first. Comes the first pitch. Ball is bunted out. Third baseman up with it. And the sac bunt is executed. He just about got there. So runner at second, 1 out. That brings up Mooney. So Bradley Jr. heads over to third. I thought on the bunt he was going to head right on that way because when the third baseman come in to get it, the shortstop was a ways away. Thought it might be a race, but nonetheless, with one out, Bradley Jr. is at third with Mooney up. Mooney has grounded out, doubled, and walked. He'll be up there with one out and a runner at third. Loreno Tavares on in relief on the mound. A left-hander, very crafty. There's a curveball, catches the outside corner. Strike one called. Comes the 0-1. The strike on the outside corner called strike two. 0-2 the count to Mooney. Comes the stretch in the 0-2. That curveball looked like it was going to be through there and just tailed down and in and misses ball one. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bradley Jr. at third. Coach Goldback giving him instructions, standing right in behind him. Comes the pitch. There's a ground ball, foul down the third base line. 1-2, 1 out. Blue Devils lead 6-4, batting here in the top of the 6th. 7-inning game followed by a 9-inning game. Here comes the 1-2. That ball hits him. The coach is going to be out to argue that one, which I don't know that I blame him. I'm not a big fan of getting to wear the protection to where I just leave my arm hanging out there. I do believe that the batter's box belongs to the batter, but I'm not so sure he wasn't hanging out over the plate, which in my opinion should be out. So those are one of those things that we debate every year. Don't see a change being made. We're going to have a hit by pitch. We're going to have runners at first and third. We're going to have 1 out, and we're going to have Pittman coming to the plate. Hey, maybe they're going to discuss it here. We'll see. I don't see a change being made, but you never know. We'll see what they're going to do. Umpire's talking it over. Going to leave him at first base. It's going to bring up Pittman. He struck out twice and then has been hit by a pitch. He's going to step in with 1 out. Runners at the corners. Bradley Jr. at third. Mooney at first. Pittman at the plate with 1 out. Runner goes. Foul ball off the foot of Pittman. Dropped him straight down in a hurry. I didn't see it go off, but boy, he sure went down in the box. So I believe the count is 0-1. The scoreboard has 1 and 2. Loreno Tavares on the mound, 0-1 the count. He's going to throw over to first, back in safely. Is Mooney over at first. 0-1 the count. Bradley Jr. at third. Mooney at first, Pittman at the plate. Here comes the stretch and the 0-1. Going to throw to first again. Very close, but back in safely. try and do the 0-1 again. Runner goes. Curveball right through there for a called strike. So 0-2 the count to Pittman. Runners at second and third now with one out. Runner moved to second on that last pitch. There's a ground ball at the second baseman. He's going to come home with it. We're going to have a fielder's choice out at home. So Freeman to Mitchell on the fielder's choice for the second out of the inning. It's going to bring up Santiago. Going to have a visit to the mound by Mitchell. Santiago will be up. He's going to be up there with runners at the corners, 2 outs. He's had a double, struck out swinging, and a base hit with the bases loaded for 2 RBI in that 5th inning, 5-run inning. He'll step in with 2 outs and 2 on to face Loreno Tavares. He's on in relief, left-hander. Facing Santiago. Strike called outside corner at the knees. So a lot of movement here in this inning with still no runs scored. Tavares trying to get out of it. The Blue Devils trying to get one in. There's foul back into the screen. So 0-2 the count. Six-4 lead for the Blue Devils as they bat here in top of the 6th. Had runners at first and third a lot of this inning, but still no runs scored. And 2 outs, 0-2 the count. Here comes the pitch. Runner goes. There's a fly down the right field line. Quite a lot of room. First baseman over there. First baseman makes a nice play. That's a tough play to make over there. Reed makes the catch. So we go to the bottom half of the 6th with the Blue Devils leading 6-4 over the Red Ravens. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Number 24, Gunnar Vestal, is going to come in relief of Ortiz Mayer. Ortiz Mayer goes 5 innings. Collada, Bunnell, and Freeman up. Collada's had a triple, a double, and a strikeout. He will step in as he leads off the bottom of the 6th inning with his Red Ravens trailing the Blue Devils 6-4. Gunnar Vestal on the mound in relief. Here comes the first pitch from him to Coletta outside, ball one. Collada, excuse me. Here comes the 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike as Collada leads off here in the bottom half of the 6th. Strike called outside part of the plate at the waist. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gunnar Vestal in relief. Here comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss for a strikeout. So that's going to bring up Bunnell. Bunnell's reached on a base on balls, grounded out to the third baseman, and doubled to left field. He'll step in with 1 out and nobody on. A little bit low, ball 1. Bunnell at the plate. High, ball 2. There's a strike right down the middle, fastball at the knees. 2 balls, 1 strike. Gunnar Vestal on in relief. Ortiz Mayer. There's a swing and a miss by Bunnell. So 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out as the Red Ravens bat here in their bottom half of the 6th, trailing 6-4. There's a pop-up on the infield. Bradley Jr. calling for it. He puts that away for the 2nd out of the inning. That'll bring up Freeman. Freeman's reached on a fielder's choice, been out on a 3 unassisted to the first baseman, and called out on strikes. He'll step in with 2 outs and nobody on. Step in left-handed facing the right-handed Gunnar Vestal. There's a strike at the knees on the outside corner. 0-1 the count. Comes the stretch and the 0-1 from Vestal. Swing and a miss. Fastball outside part of the plate, 0-2. Down in the count is Freeman. Comes the 0-2, outside and high, ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Vestal to Freeman. Freeman batting left-handed, Vestal a right-handed pitcher. Comes the 1-2, ball a little bit high. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Freeman. Outside and high, ball 3, so the count goes full on Freeman. Comes the 3-2. Fly ball to left field. That ball's going deep. Over the head, that's going to be a triple most likely. Running into third with a triple to left field is Freeman. So a 2-out triple That'll bring up Ortiz. Ortiz will bat left-handed as well. He'll face Gunnar Vestal for the first time. Ortiz has been on a base on balls and struck out twice. He'll step in with a runner at third base and 2 outs. Strike fastball on the outside corner at the knees. Strike 1. Crowding the plate is Ortiz. Not sure where that missed. Was that out or was that up, or did he just miss that one? 1-1 the count. There's a foul ball down the left field line and out of play. Shelter house down there. Over the top of it. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs to Ortiz. Freeman at third after that triple over the left fielder's head. There's a fastball, just barely stays alive. Fouls that away is Ortiz. Ortiz in, tied on the plate. 1-2 the count. Vestal on the mound in relief. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. In the dirt. Going to have to throw it down. He does. So out is Ortiz for the 3rd out of the inning. We'll go to the top of the 7th with the Blue Devils leading 6-4. 7-inning scheduled game. We'll be back. All right, here we go to the top half of the 7th inning. Blue Devils lead 6-4. Back to the mound for another inning of work is Loreno Tavares. Still Combs and Kelly scheduled up. B still going to step in. He struck out, got a base hit with an RBI, and popped out to the shortstop. He takes strike 1 on a curveball that just gets back to the outside part of the plate. Strike 1 called. Brandon still at the plate. Another curveball. That one looked in the same spot to me, but maybe a little bit lower or a little bit out. Ball 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike on 2 curveballs to the outside part on the plate. Still fairly tall. There's a ground ball up the middle for a base hit. So Brandon Still with the leadoff base hit here in the top of the 7th, trying to get a little bit of insurance. Probably going to have a pinch runner for him, and we are. Julius King is going to pinch run. So Still with the base hit, pinch runner in Julius King. Combs will step in. He's struck out, flew out to left field, and been on a base on balls. Comes the first pitch to him. There's a strike right down the middle. Strike called. Comes the 1-0 pitch. Squares to bunt, pulls back, takes outside, ball 2. So coach may be exercising a little small ball here, trying to get an additional insurance run. 2-0, 1-1 the count, says the umpire. Got him picked off. And picked off is Julius King. 1-1 the count. First one was a cold strike. So King picked off by Loreno Tavares. So now 1 ball, 1 strike to Combs with 1 out. Curveball starts out at the hitter, the lefty, and the lefty versus lefty comes right back across the corner of plate for strike 2 called. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out to Combs. There's a swing and a wave and a miss. Out is a little bit of a mix-up here as to what the count was. I don't know if I had it right or wrong the first time. When I said the 2-0, was that right or wrong? Okay, so we've got the strikeout. So Combs is out. That's going to bring up Kelly. Well, I sure thought it was a strikeout, and it is. And it was. So 2 outs. Kelly will step in. 6-4 lead with the Blue Devils batting here in the top of the 7th. This first game is a 7-inning game. Here comes the pitch. There's a strike fastball right on the outside corner, called strike 1. Kelly flew out to left field, doubled, and had a base on balls for an RBI. There's a curveball right back across the middle. I like this little guy on the mound, Loreno Tavares. Very crafty, a lot of movement on the ball. Saw him on Thursday as well. 0-2 the count, 2 outs to Kelly. Just fouls that off. Another curveball that he just gets a piece of to stay alive. So we'll do the 0-2 again. Loreno Tavares on in relief of Lundqvist, and Lundqvist was on in relief after Romero. Romero had 4 1/3 innings. In his first 4 innings, he cruised along pretty well and then hit a little bit of a snag in part of that 5th. Here comes pitch. There's a swing and a miss. So we go to the bottom half of the 7th with the Blue Devils with a 6-4 lead. They need 3 outs to put this one in the books. We'll take a break. We'll be back. All right, here we go to the bottom half of the seventh. Jorgensen will lead off. Jorgensen, Boyd, and Reed. Vestal back to the mound. 1-0 the count, unless I missed a pitch. Jorgensen is a base hit, flew out and grounded out. He takes ball 2 high. So the Red Ravens need 2 to keep this thing going, 3 to win it. The Blue Devils need 3 outs to put it in the book and get us ready to play another one. Here comes the 2-0 pitch from Gunnar Vestal. Ball's low for ball 3. Nothing you hate any more than to be in a dugout and a coach and go to the bottom of the 7th. You're leading by 2, and your pitcher goes 3-0 and risks walking the leadoff hitter. There's ball 4. So Jorgensen with the leadoff walk. Boyd's going to come up. Boyd reached on a fielder's choice, walked, and reached on an error by the third baseman. So a runner at first, nobody out for Boyd. Vestal on in relief. Here comes the pitch. There's a ball fouled right back at me for strike 1. 0-1 the count on Boyd. Comes the 0-1 pitch. Blocked nicely by Goodfellow. Pitch that was in and down. Goodfellow took over the catching after Green pinch hit. Actually got the pinch hit 2 times in 1 inning before the catcher comes in to take his place. There's outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. Blue Devils lead 6-4 after a big 5th inning to take the lead. 5 runs in, 1 the inning before. Strike called. Looked like a little bit inside. 2-2 the count to Boyd. Gunnar Vestal would sure like to have a line drive hit right at somebody here or a strikeout. Here's a swing and a miss. Strikeout for the first out of the inning. So 1 out, 1 on. That's going to bring up Reed. Reed has walked twice and hit a line drive right at the second baseman. So 1 on, 1 out to Reed here in the bottom of the 7th. In the dirt, blocked nicely by Goodfellow. JT Goodfellow coming in to catch after the pinch hitter. There is a ball that just misses. Not sure where. 2 balls and no strikes. Six-4 lead by the Blue Devils. They need 2 more outs. There's high for ball 3. Three and 0 the count to Reed. There's ball 4. Fastball high. So a base on balls, then a strikeout, then a base on balls. It's going to bring Lugo. Actually, we're going to have a pinch hitter. Pinch hitter number 8, Blake Carroll. Blake Carroll going to have a pinch runner at first base. Number 18, Chase Freeman. going to have a visit to the mound by Coach Golbeck. Blake Carroll, I hope his dad Billy is listening. Billy played basketball at Sircoxie High School a whole bunch of years ago when I coached down there. I'm sorry, Billy, but I have to hope he doesn't do too well here. As much as I'd like for him to do well, I hope you're listening. Runners at first and second. Left-handed hitting. Blake Carroll comes in to hit for Lugo. One out, runners at first and second. Left-handed hitting Carroll steps in to face right-handed pitching Gunnar Vestal. Here comes the first pitch. Strike on the outside corner at the knees. Strike one called. 0-1 to Carroll. Comes the 0-1. In the dirt, blocked nicely by Goodfellow. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Bottom of the 7th action, 6-4. The Blue Devils lead the Red Ravens. Outside and high, ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. Comes the 2-1. Outside, ball 3. The Blue Devils need 2 outs. The Red Ravens need 2 runs. 3-1 the count, 1 out. Stay tuned. Here we go. Gunnar Vestal on in relief of Ortiz Mayer. Outside, ball 4. So Carroll, the pinch hitter, walks to load the bases. That's going to bring up Mitchell, the catcher. Nope, actually, number 16. Tyler Brown. So the coaches are using their benches to go after this game. Now Coach Golbeck is going to head to the mound. Looks like we may have a pitching change. We'll take a break. We'll get you the changes, and we'll be right back. The Blue Devils lead 6-4 with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. All right, here we go to finish this one up. Julian Rivera, number 7, a right-hander, is going to come in and face the pinch hitter, 16, Brown. Brown's going to be up there with the bases loaded, the tying run at second, the winning run at third with 1 out. Comes the first pitch from Rivera. In the dirt, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Brown. Brown pinch hitting for Mitchell. Comes the stretch and the 1-0 from Rivera. There's a high fly ball to left field. Gonna tag and score will the runner from third. Which was Jorgensen. So that makes it a 6-5 count, but they hold the tying run at second after that fly ball. That's going to bring up Collada. That's a sac fly for an RBI. It's going to bring up Collada. He's had a double, a triple, and struck out twice. 2 outs. The Blue Devils need an out. The Red Ravens need a run. There's a foul ball into the first base dugout for strike 1 by Collada. Runners at first and second. 1 run down are the Red Ravens. That tying run is at second base. 1-1 the count with 2 outs. There's a swing and a miss of that fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. For the moment, the Red Ravens are down to their last strike. 0-2 the count. Foul ball into the dugout. Swing and a miss there. Rivera trying to finish it. Just misses a little bit low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Rivera on in relief on the mound, trying to finish this thing out. There's a foul ball right straight back to the screen, so we'll do the 1-2 again. Nothing better than a tight game on a Saturday afternoon. There's a fly ball into right field, a long run. There is the tying run, comes across. That ball just bounces out of Bradley Jr.'s. That's going to be a base hit to right field. He went a long way to get it. That's going to tie the score at 6. So Collada with a base hit down the right field line. The second baseman, Bradley Jr., cannot hold on to it. So that's going to tie the game at 6. That's going to bring up Bunnell. Bunnell has walked, grounded out, had a double, and popped out to the second baseman. He'll be up there with 2 outs and the winning run at third base. A runner at first. But that out, or that runner not of consequence here. The runner at third only. With the score tied, Rivera's first pitch. Runner moves down to second, indifference to the defense. Ball 1. 1-0. 1-0 the count on Bunnell. Winning run at third base. 2 outs. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. A little bit low. Time is called. Goodfellow's going to go out and visit with Rivera. So 2-0 the count. You might see them go ahead and put him on here, but then your next hitter is a left-hander. 2-0 the count, 2 outs, winning run for the Red Ravens at third. Bunnell at the plate. There's a ball in the dirt for 3-0. The count, 2 outs, Bunnell at the plate, the third baseman. Comes the 3-0. Strike outside corner fastball with the waist, so 3-1. There's a foul ball backing out of play. Three and one the count. Carroll at third base, the winning run. He was walked as a pinch hitter. He walked. 3-1 the count, 2 outs. Here comes the pitch. There's a base hit into left field by Bunnell, and Carroll scores. So the Red Ravens rebound to win 7-6 here in this first 7-inning game. We'll be back in about 20 to 25 minutes for the 9-inning game. First game of the set Thursday goes to the Blue Devils. Then the Red Ravens come back and take the second one. They take the third one here. We'll be back for the fourth game of the set. It'll be a 9-inning game. We'll take a break and we'll be back.